It's Oh My God Tarot, and this is your Someone Secretly Talking About You tarot card reading. Let's have a look at who in tarnation is talking about you, Cancer, with the astrology reading cards to figure out who, tarot card to figure out what they be saying. Alright, if you'd like your own personal reading, please check out the description. There's a link to my website, and here we go. 10 of Cups to start your reading. We start off with good intentions, a feeling of fullness, gratitude, graciousness, happiness, contentment, happiness, joy. At least that's where the prize is. And the eye is on the prize if we're starting out the reading with this energy. We got more happiness coming through with the Sun card, which is associated with Leo, by the way. This represents freedom and a sense of purpose, but the joy along the journey and being vivacious, having tenacity, charisma, energy, excitement, and enthusiasm about life. So this is looking good so far. This person's coming from like this happy place of fulfillment, joyful, wanting things to be just fun, lighthearted. Okay, but with a foundation of stability, because you know the 10 of Cups is like I don't have to be all giddy and surprised. I'm content and spiritually fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled. So then there's also excitement. All right, we have the Judgment card. Okay, so now we know that someone is looking at your success, your joyfulness, the things that you're winning at, and they're judging on it. They're looking at it, and they're seeing how things have come full circle, but they're essentially one to have been viewing you for some time and able to do an overall assessment of how you've been doing. And maybe someone's just talking about that and wanting to acknowledge that. That's a good thing. Let's see if they've seen you suffer or struggle and they see that you're doing well and you're thriving, and they can tell the journey of it all, not just the joyful, happy part that makes things look easily. It feels like the karmic energy of the Judgment card is showing that somebody's talking about your lessons, the lessons that they may have learned from you in your journey, but also just the overall maybe attitude and energy that you had about this journey. Your next card is, and that journey might be one of heartbreak and how you've bounced back from being either cheated on, deceived in some way with a partnership, or just like in your own mess that you've inflicted on yourself. Perhaps your freedom is, you know, breaking free of your situation after some rain had poured and feeling free and independent. Maybe you were codependent in a relationship that was a very long-term one. Again, this is a long journey, so it may be a connection that was extremely significant that people watched as the heartache and disappointment came from that situation, and managed to look at how joyful and happy you were. Now, this could also work in reverse, where you guys were once in a situation where you were partnered with somebody joyful, happy, free, carefree, you know, and the Judgment card could lead to you going from that extreme where everything's joyful, gracious, happy partnership, but you could run into any unexpected event that tests who you are, and that might be a third-party situation. Cheating, how you handle it. They may be discussing that. Oh, she took him back. Oh, they're still together. They're not together. They broke up and they found someone else, got married, had 5 kids. But they're talking about the coming of age of it all. This 3 of Swords seems like the most violent of all of the cards here. Seems like the most difficult and the most challenging, but also just because it's sitting next to that karmic acknowledgement card, we know that a huge lesson was learned and a drastic change from where that person was and where that person is going. It's just different. So this breakup really, wow, people, I think that, you know, there's somebody that is discussing how they thought that you'd be with this person for a long time, or discussing, and it could be that person in particular discussing the situation. I feel like karmically, if it is the direct person that was in a relationship with you discussing these events, it's like they're learning the karmic lesson of how free and happy they were when they were partnered, connected to somebody who cared about them and united, and how free they felt individually. How free they felt individually, where they may have learned that lesson that they were free individually because they didn't feel free at the time. And then now that they are, they feel these type of emotions, these negative circumstances around relationships, and that would be a huge karmic lesson. feeling free within a relationship and being happy, whereas they may have had the attitude that this was a liability, that this relationship was shackles, it was holding me back from doing the other stuff that I wanted to do, being free in a different way. And so they may have found themselves stepping out on the relationship. There may have been a come to, you've been busted, you can't be trusted situation. Either way, disappointing and painful, but this third party situation is connected to a greater lesson about their divine purpose. We have the red winged angel, which means there's divine orchestration involved. They need to learn some lessons and to get to where they need to be or where they're meant to be in this life. And now we go from 3 of swords to 2, so it almost feels like if there was a third party situation, they still partnered with you or the other person, but this connection is not as strong as it has been in the past, hence the reversal, which means it was there and it was strong. And usually it goes from 1 to 2 and the connection strengthens. But in this reversal, it feels like coming from a third party situation, it's probably a connection by trauma, connection by I don't want to lose, connection by yeah, I still feel for you, but I don't feel the same and I don't know where to go type energy. So with that, learning the lesson that even if we are breaking apart, even if we are free and doing our own thing, in one way, it's not a good thing. It leads you down this path that feels painful, and it leads you to feeling a little less connected to those around you that you played with, and teaches you a karmic lesson. I feel like I want to be a little nosy and look at the third party situation and the partnership over here, because even if they do come from that out of that partnership, they come out of a third party situation with a partnership, it doesn't feel like a good relationship. It feels like one that may end, that would be short lived, one that extends just for the sake of convenience or anything but what a relationship should be about. So let's see a little bit more about this third party situation. 2 of Cups. How are they connected? This person found this person to be an opportunity at the wrong time, an opportunity that they went looking for at the wrong time. They shouldn't have been looking, they shouldn't have been curious, they shouldn't have been checking for that at all. As the Pentacles, we have a little bit more of this other person is looking for an opportunity as well. So that means that this person would have had a hand and not really cared if that this person was in a relationship. So there's no gender code. This is like, oh, I know you're married, but you started having feelings for me, so I'm just gonna go along with it. And it's like this person didn't have their own independent conscious. In fact, they used a little bit of manipulation techniques to get what they want. So they may, you're made for each other. You're both kind of goons and will do whatever you need to do to get to wherever. But these 2 cards are in reverse. They're looking at each other sideways. They're looking at each other upside down. And so their individual views are skewed, but they align with each other. Isn't that cute? Yeah, they made this special effort and traveled to see each other. I think it's always for the thrill, this third party situation stuff. It's for the thrill, and there was a lot of effort and energy put into getting together and all that stuff. So again, not on the up and up, in the reverse. So it's not something that pays off, and it's not something that doesn't desire to be upright. But with the Pentacles, I just feel like there's a lot of opportunist energy there. Like, I want to, I see that you have money, I might want to try to make my play by any means necessary. Or I see that you're awfully young, or I see that you're this in a weird situation, and I kind of want to, push those buttons by liking some posts and being extra with it. I feel like that's what may have been involved. So this could be the person that they told you not to worry about type thing, which is not cute. But let's have a look at who we're talking about here, because they're giving us the behavior. They're giving us behavior. It's a little untrustworthy, but it's not straight up violence here. It's just a karmic lesson. That's the bigger overall picture. Hopefully that's because, you move on from it and you take away what you're personally accountable for and grow as a person and look back and go, yeah, that was a thing, and emotionally mature from it. Whereas this person, if their actions are still kind of shady and there's still like this heat, you may feel like this person they still have each other, so I feel like I'm the loser in this. Whereas like they might have to stick together just for the show of it all, because both people are looking for an opportunity. So it may not be anything that you need to be jealous of That's for sure, because this was the part where they were happy. And they're realizing that they were happy by what they're going through now. So this person's giving Mercury energy, how you think, communicate, write, talk, and travel. We touched on travel a little bit, so this is giving Virgo and Gemini energy. You could be dealing with one of those. Lord knows a Virgo would do that. We got the Sun in the mix now, and this is your immortal spirit, purpose, and destiny involved. Leo is connected to the Sun, so we have another validation from the astrology reading cards. And finally, we have Uranus, whom is connected to Aquarius, your potential for sudden change, enlightenment, and awakening. So again, like the events that transpire with this person, they're awakening for someone. I think it's for them more than anything, learning the lesson in a bigger story. And I think that this is like, maybe they were with you long term, they were connected to you long term, and they let something, an impulsiveness or just this diluted way of thinking get the best of them. Them looking for the opportunity, possibly with somebody younger, somebody who has more money or a better lifestyle, looking for an opportunity, less emotionally nourishing, a more just a come up, essentially, and willing to put the effort into that. So, whatever, do you talk about me if you want, but I'm glad that you're talking about me in a memory that is a little more pleasant than what you're going through now. So take that and rewind it back. But I'll be moving on. Okay? That's what you guys are going to do. And there it is. That is your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment, share the video. And if you'd like your own personal reading, please check out the description. There's a link to my website as well as a link to my Etsy shop. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace out.